Australian made and owned, Hi-Tech Oils is one of the largest oil blenders in Australia with a truly national profile, supplying an extensive range of oils, coolant, grease, batteries and much more for all businesses and consumer needs. Choose Hi-Tech Oils for peace of mind.
Today's show has a real international flavour. First up, we head to Scotland and to the Knockhill circuit in the mountains of Fyfe for rounds 22 to 24 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. Then we head across to the Principality of Monaco, where the glitz and glamour of Monte Carlo come together with motor racing's wild and wonderful past. It's the 11th running of the Monaco Historic Grand Prix. This is Speedweek.
We're at Knockhill in Scotland with the British Touring Car Championship. But before we get to grips with the 3 races ahead of us, let's have a quick look at how they got on last time out in Rockingham.
A sluggish start from Dan Camish. From third on the grid, nearly let Tom Chilton by on the run down to the hairpin in the opening Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship race at Rockingham. Second place, Sam Tordoff, was tipped into a spin. Stranded in the middle of the track and facing the wrong way, several unsighted drivers were then caught up in the resulting melee. Chris Smiley and his teammate were both impacted in some way, as was Sam Smelt, Andrew Jordan and Matt Neal. There was no let-off after the restart as Jason Plato was next to be spun around as he dropped to the back of the order after contact. Ash Sutton was busy making progress as he slipped by Camish into third. But even better was to come when he produced the move of the race on lap 13 with a switchback manoeuvre on Tom Chilton through the S's. And he would then scamper away to what would be a second-placed finish. Tom Ingram had enjoyed a race-long battle with title rival and championship leader Colin Turkington, but he was cruelly denied a finish with a throttle problem on the final lap. Meanwhile, Adam Morgan would complete a commanding lights-to-flag victory with a faultless display for his 3rd win of the season. Adam Morgan lost the lead to Ash Sutton off the line in race 2, but was able to defend second from Chris Smiley and Mike Bushell. This race would see Tom Ingram return to the standing summit with yet another sensational comeback drive. Once more, it was the final podium position that created the most excitement, with Ingram grabbing the place later on after a storming drive from 27th on the grid. He'd already picked off rival after rival before he blasted by then championship leader Colin Turkington to take 5th on lap 15. Both of them muscled their way past the impressive Bushell. So it was Ingram and Turkington in 4th and 5th, with just a couple of laps remaining. Senna Proctor was hanging on to 3rd, but when he ran across the grass through Brook for the 2nd time, Ingram spied his opportunity and nipped through. It was Ash Sutton who would go on to take the win. Rain had begun to fall slightly harder shortly before the 3rd and final race eventually got underway, and Tom Chilton would be the first to be caught out by the conditions at the first hairpin. He slid wide, as did a series of others, and it was frenetic action as everyone fought for places. When the positions were eventually settled, it was Smiley leading from Matt Simpson with a gaggle of cars headed by Colin Turkington in behind. Rory Butcher was making ground. He'd already attacked for the lead before being shuffled back by Simpson and Turkington. A setback struck Butcher on lap 10, however, when he too was caught out by the tricky conditions and ran wide through the hairpin. That cost him 3 places. The podium would eventually come down to the final run to the finish line as Simpson lost second to Turkington through Brook and was then caught by Sam Tordoff as well as Tom Ingram. In a dash to the checkered flag, it would be Simpson who got the nod. However, it was Chris Smiley who would win his first ever British Touring Car Championship race. In terms of the championship shake-up, Turkington has sneaked back past Ingram with a 4-point advantage and just 3 events remaining.
So there is Dan Camish then, who sits on pole position. The rain still falls. It has been a glorious Saturday with bright sunshine, and it is a very grey Sunday here, which is a real shame for Knockhill. It is effectively the Scottish Circuit's Grand Prix. They try so hard up here to make everybody welcome, to put on a big event, and they always succeed, but the weather gods have not been kind this year. But we should still get some cracking racing. 5-second board is displayed. Round 22 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship is go. Who makes the best start? Good getaway by Jelly. Jordan's away nicely as well. Turkington blocks fellow countryman Chris Smiley down towards Duffer's Dip for the first time, and it is going to be Jordan up the inside of Jelly, but Dan Camish hangs on to the advantage as they tiptoe their way down through Duffer's Dip. Ingram and Sutton are side by side, and it's the Subaru going ahead of the Toyota, but on the outside line, Ash Sutton tries to stand his ground. Ingram's on the inside look and goes back ahead of Sutton as they head up towards the chicane. Camish leading Jelly, leading Jordan.
Well, arguably that's 50% of the work done for Dan Camish. He made an exceptional start in a front-wheel drive car, equaling the rear-wheel drive cars around him, and at the moment it's the top 3 as they were.
So Chris Smiley now comes up to attack Colin Turkington, who won't be doing anything silly, thinking about points in the championship. Smiley with nothing to lose wants more wins. He won at Rockingham last time out. Turkington breaks late. Smiley almost into the back of Jordan. You've still got this pseudo rolling start look between Ingram and Sutton. They're still side by side. Turkington goes ahead of Jordan. Great news for the championship for him. And Jordan, having lost ground now, stacks up Ingram and Sutton behind him, the other 2 drivers that are fighting for points. But look, Sutton coming up to have a go, not only at Ingram, but then at Smiley as well, as they drop into Duffers. And Sutton has got ahead of Ingram, and he's gone round the outside of Smiley as well.
Well, we thought Sutton might be the man on a charge. That car working very well in the wet, but a great opportunity for Turkington, wasn't there?
Yeah.
At that chicane. Smiley was up his inside. He decided to go the long way around the outside, and just in front of him, Andy Jordan got a bit of power oversteer, and Turkington was able to just drive around the outside of him.
This is Tom Ingram's limited view coming now up through Clark. You can see there, look, the Sutton-Smiley battle going on ahead of him still. They're side by side. Front-wheel drive Honda, rear-wheel drive Subaru. They are there, I promise you, in the gloom, in the spray, as they come down now towards the hairpin. Up front, it is Dan Camish from Stephen Jelly. And there, look, Ingram coming under attack from Tom Oliphant, who's ahead of Adam Morgan. And Ricky Collard is next in the queue, going very nicely indeed in the BMW. As Sutton then defends from Ingram over the line.
Absolutely impossible to see what's going on further back, isn't it? We'll have to rely on the timing screens. Ingram's looking up the inside, but that's a difficult pass into turn 1 in the dry, let alone in the wet. As they come down through the dip into Scotsman, so difficult to get the car stopped and on the apex. But certainly Ingram's car's working well. The weight, by the way, in this race, the success ballast will not have such a big effect. It doesn't have a huge effect here anyway, because there's only one real stop stop-start corner, and that's the last corner and up the straight. But in the wet, they can carry the speed as Smiley runs wide, and Sutton gets immediately past him, seizes that opportunity. So the weight not having such an effect on this circuit or in the wet.
Ingram now comes up to challenge. Remember, out of the 3 top drivers in the championship, Ingram is now running third of them in the race, so he wants to be on the tail. As there, look for second place. Turkington comes up to have a go at Stephen Jelly. 75 kilos for Turkington, no weight on Jelly's car, and Colin Turkington is going to make his move up on the inside line, and he goes through into second place. And now Turkington sets off after Camish. This is going to be fascinating to see what the championship leader can do as Carl Boardley gets himself out of the gravel at the hairpin.
Well, thank good job he got back on the circuit. No safety car required, but wow, what a piece of driving by Turkington. He looks like, I thought he needed to get the most amount of points out of this weekend, because I do think that car might struggle just a little bit at Silverstone. But wow, he looks like this isn't a Turkington that's prepared to just take some points. This is a Turkington that wants maximum out of this race, and I would say Camish has got his hands full with we'll watch the lap times, but Turkington is coming. He has a little lock up on the water there. There's a big bit of water that runs across the track there, and we've seen several cars lock up there already.
The other man on a mission, look, is Ash Sutton in the Subaru, because he's closing up onto the back of Jordan. Stephen Jelly not dropping away from Turkington, is he, as they come over the line? Colin Turkington having done the fastest lap of the race, but that is then bettered by Ash Sutton. The Subaru in 5th is absolutely flying as they come down through Duffer's Dip. Now, there is Sutton. He's on the back of Jordan. Now, Camish is leading by 1.3 seconds, but last time around, Turkington was the quicker of the two. Now, let's see what he can do about bringing down the gap, but Sutton is the other one. Do not rule him out here, as Jordan has to go defensive. He's also looking for a way past Jelly, so Jordan is attacking and defending at the same time.
The point is, though, Sutton was 1 second faster on that lap than the leader, Dan Camish. He's the one with the pace. It just depends how quickly he can get through.
And Ash Sutton then, who has always gone well in wet conditions, comes down towards the hairpin. Jelly goes for the inside against Turkington, who finds that rivulet across the road, and Jelly will go back into second place. Yes! Makes the move and makes it stick up on the inside. So Stephen Jelly, good opportunistic pass that, goes through, takes second place back, and the lead gap is down anyway to 1.4 seconds. So it's Camish leading from Jelly, as it was early on, but the gap is reduced. Turkington 3rd, Jordan 4th, Sutton is 5th.
Just watch, there's that little bit of water that runs across the road. Turkington takes the wide line, and the puddle is just there. You saw it there, and then you can't turn the car. So the fastest line is the one that Jelly had up the inside.
Smiley is coming back at the rear-wheel drive train here, isn't he? Because now Sutton's got a bit stuck behind the defensive Jordan. They are going to be side by side on the run down to the hairpin. To the outside line goes the Subaru. Sutton tries to make the move, but Jordan with the better line, and now Jelly is the one that runs out wide. Turkington goes past him, back into second place, back down to 3rd goes Jelly. Jordan hangs on to 4th. Sutton is still there 5th. Smiley best of the rest 6th as they come over the line, and the leading gap is up to 2.2 seconds. All of this fighting is helping Camish.
Well, we saw it in the earlier races today that mistakes are very easy to make. Whoa,
that's
look
Dan
at
Lloyd.
that. Dan Lloyd off. He's got the power on, trying to straighten the front out, but he's going to slide back across all of the cars. Wow, how did they miss him?
The lead gap, Camish to Turkington, was 2.2 last time. It's 1.2 this time. So Turkington, now that he's back up into second place and doesn't have to defend, he's going after the leader, and he's doing a very good job of catching as Sutton goes to the inside against Jelly. This is for 3rd place, and Sutton goes through. Where's Ingram in all of this? He's only 7th at the moment, losing points against the other two in the championship fight. Jordan sideways, hangs onto the slide. He then is down into now 5th place. 6th is Smiley, but Ingram comes up to have a go on the inside. Does he go through? Ingram goes on the inside line, and he does go by.
Yeah, good pass there, 2 good passes. Good pass by Sutton, cutting back out of Scotsman to get the run down the dip before the chicane. He has definitely got the fastest car there, and he's got plenty of laps left to do this.
We are on lap 8, about to start lap 9 as they drag up the hill here. So Camish leads the way, and the gap is down to 0.8 of a second. 2.2, 1.2, 0.8 in 3 successive laps.
But Turkington's very quickly going to have to start defending from Ash Sutton, and then it depends how long it takes Sutton to get past. Remember, they're championship rivals, aren't they? And we all know that Sutton goes for everything he can get.
This is Ingram's pass on Smiley in replay through Clark, gap on the inside.
Well, Turkington won't want to give away any points to Sutton. He knows he's the coming man, but he also knows how aggressive Sutton is.
Sutton has just done another fastest lap of the race, a 57.242. Through Duffers Dip they come, and it is now 9/10 covering the 3 leaders. Sutton to the inside, Turkington gives him room, and Ash Sutton will go second. And the way that he's going, he could be on for a race win here. This is some drive by Sutton, up from 8th on the grid.
Well, he just finds places to overtake, doesn't he? I mean, you know, he set that one up nicely coming through turn 1, carried the speed down through the dip and through the car precisely up the inside. He's just finding grip, and watch this. Well, it's from an angle that you can't see the setup for it, but he gets the car up the inside so early that Turkington has no choice but to give him the position.
He was up the curb, but fully committed. Sutton through. And there is Adam Morgan. Now Tom Oliphant is up to 8th at the expense of Chris Smiley, who's dropping in a spin. That's Matt Neal in the background going off the road. And there's damage on the suspension. Look, right rear corner is broken. And that is going to stay, I fear, as a car toboggan-like at the moment, sliding down the grass. It's going to be a retirement, isn't it? As Sutton goes for the race lead against Camish. There's a gap, and he's done it.
Yeah, Camish thought about defending, but he saw the speed oh, behind, Turkington gets wide, and Kelly's back past again.
This might explain what happened to Matt Neal. Bang, Matt Simpson getting into him.
Well, we didn't see why Matt Neal was wide in the first place there. He was wide round the corner, possibly just outbraked himself a little bit, and obviously then the 2 into 1 got tagged on the exit. But, well, I mentioned before in the build-up to this race how good Sutton is in the wet. He just has a touch and a feel, and that Subaru works so well with him at the wheel anyway. I mean, teammate Plato is in 24th, so it's not working so well for him, but with Sutton behind the wheel in these conditions, he's almost unbeatable.
Still that rivulet across the road, as up front Sutton tries to get away from Camish. Having got the lead, he was 9/10 clear, and he goes through now at the end of 14 laps, 1.6 seconds to the good. 24 laps, remember, this race, and now the fastest lap has been done by Dan Lloyd, down in 28th place. So there is Camish second and Stephen Jelly third. Unless Sutton has a drama, they're not going to become race winners. But can Stephen Jelly gain one more place? And what about Josh Cook at the back of this queue? He is determined to get past Ingram, and there's not much love lost between those two. Nose to tail they run up towards Clark's. So now Ingram has to think about defending, mindful that his 2 championship rivals are ahead of him. He doesn't want to lose any more points than he can really legitimately afford to. So Sutton leads the race by 1.6 seconds from Dan Camish. It's Jelly third, Turkington fourth, Jordan, Ingram, Cook. Then it's Oliphant, Smiley and Morgan to round out the top 10. And finding all the standing water is Josh Cook, this time into the hairpin. But Sutton 1.6 seconds to the good last time. Now does the fastest lap at 56.6, and he's 2.5 seconds clear.
Yeah, he's just piling it on, isn't he? As the track conditions improve ever so marginally, he's still getting quicker. A lot of people setting fastest laps on their personal fastest laps last time round and this time. But yeah, Sutton's got this race in the bag if he doesn't make a mistake or have a problem with the back marker.
The rain looks like it's intensifying once more, so track conditions becoming ever more treacherous. Turkington to Jordan there, the two of them together. Looking back from Rob Austin's car, he is in 14th place. That's Tom Chilton behind.
Watch how the drivers stay off the exit curbs. Just here, staying off that curb on the exit, because painted curbs and 300 horsepower don't work very well together. You just spin the tyres up. Same thing here. You have to use that curb if you run out wide, but normally in the drive, you'd be all over it. Same there, curb on the exit, stay off it for maximum traction.
Jelly goes for second place. Look, and he will go through, I think, on the inside of Duffers against Dan Camish. So the man that led early on now drops to third. Through goes Stephen Jelly on the inside, rear wheel drive 1 and 2, and this gives Turkington a little bit of optimism potentially to gain another place, which he needs, thinking points, thinking championship. So Camish falls to third, and he's now got BMWs all around him.
Well, if you think of he is the only front-wheel drive car in that whole group, isn't he? First, second, fourth, fifth are all rear-wheel drive.
Turkington through, place gain, that puts him third. Jelly all sideways ahead of him. Camish tries to come back here at Turkington. But the BMW looks like it might have the grunt in a straight line. Let's see. Camish has the inside line down to the hairpin. Jordan tries to work out which way to go, but Turkington gets the job done before the corner.
Well, Well, Turkington braked a lot later than Camish then, didn't he? They were side by side through his lot to start with, but a lot later on the brakes. So that tells me that Camish's front tyres have just lost a little bit of their edge. All brand new grooved Dunlop wet tyres for this, but they've lost a little bit of their edge. The rear-wheel drive cars just keep the tyre together a little bit better.
So now Jordan will come up to attack Camish, and then you've got the Ingram-Cook fight as well. So Ingram needs, like they all do, for the championship, every point he can get. Out of the chicane goes Stephen Jelly. Turkington looking to try to get past him once again then. But up front, Sutton, remember, he started 8th. He's worked his way through the traffic, and he's now pulled away by 5.7 seconds, helped admittedly by the people behind delaying themselves. But there he is, look, he's on his own.
He's gone, absolutely gone. He's just, well, it's almost like he's in a different class, isn't he?
Down to the hairpin once more comes Stephen Jelly. Then behind him is Turkington. Camish finds all the water this time. Jordan looks for the inside coming out of the hairpin, but he can't get up alongside him. Then it's Ingram and then it's Cook. And this is Jason Plato in replay running wide at Clark, and the car losing pace.
He ran wide into the corner and had to back out the throttle massively and couldn't get on the onto the straight. So Plato's now in 26th place. His fastest lap by comparison. He's done a 57.8. His teammate's done a 56.4. 3 seconds quicker.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? Now, this battle between the BMWs, different teams, remember, Team Parker Racing is hit by WSR. Stephen Jelly hit by Turkington. Around he goes and off he goes.
Well, 2 things. Absolute disaster for Stephen Jelly, but secondly, will Turkington get a penalty for that?
Well, there was certainly contact. I don't think it was deliberate, because that's not necessarily Turkington's nature, but definite contact and serious consequences for Stephen Jelly. He's out of the race. And the other element to all of this, is it going to be a safety car? And that would take Sutton's advantage away, because Jelly is stuck in the gravel. Talk us through it.
OK, Jelly gets a little bit sideways. Turkington gets a run. He goes late to the dive to the inside, but Jelly's already there. And just a mistimed manoeuvre by Turkington.
We are going to have a safety car to get Stephen Jelly out of the gravel. So we do go safety car, and 7.5 seconds worth of advantage will come down. And that's going to mean Sutton versus Turkington for the lead battle when we resume. But it may well be that Colin Turkington is investigated for that incident. So round 22 of the British Touring Car Championship set to get back underway as the cars now make the run to the hairpin, and we will go racing. Sutton floors the throttle, accelerates away, but he's got to get round the hairpin without drama. And so those behind him. Turkington closing as they brake, and then the drag up the hill. You're climbing even as you turn through the corner. This long run up towards the timing line. Ash Sutton leads the way. 23 laps are completed as we go green once more, and he is 3/10 ahead of Colin Turkington. Over the line they go. Now, can the BMW have a go to try to get the race lead here? 3rd, it is Camish as they work their way out of Duffer's Dip. In 4th is Jordan, 5th is Ingram, and 6th is Cook.
Camish's tyres, the front tyres, if they were starting to overheat, will have had a little bit of a recovery period now under that safety car, but within a lap or so they'll be back up to full temperature.
Sutton's edging away, look, lap 24. 27 laps will be the distance because of the safety car period. Out of Clark they come then now. Camish still there in 3rd. With all that gravel brought onto the circuit, looks like a rally stage, doesn't it? As Josh Cook now makes his move against Ingram. Down to the hairpin they come. Is it going to be the Toyota that hangs onto the place? The Vauxhall goes for the inside. Ingram gives him just enough room. He doesn't want to force it and get involved in any dramas. So Josh Cook goes through, covers the line coming out of the hairpin, and that will now put Cook up into 5th place.
Good move by Cook. He dived down the inside at the last minute. There was just a car's width there, but he stopped the car on the apex. He didn't run wide. Look, Ingram thinks he's had it covered, comes into shot now, and last minute Cook goes down the inside, just enough room. But look, he stops the car right on the apex and turns it.
So the venerable MG going strongly. Ricky Collard there also in the mix now on the back of Butcher, and Tom Chilton is next in the queue. So racing a car with a roof over his head in the wet for the first time. Ricky Collard comes through Clark's, out of Hislops and down to the hairpin. The race leaders are on lap 26 and 27. It is still Sutton ahead of Turkington, ahead of Camish for the top three, and Rory Butcher crawling all over the back of Adam Morgan. There is Ash Sutton then, who comes through now to complete lap 26. He will go on to his last lap, leading by very nearly a second. This has been a mighty drive by Sutton.
Absolutely, just brilliant. You know, he just had so much pace all the way through. Of course, Ash Sutton won his first race in that MG that Rory Butcher's driving up at Groff, didn't he, a few years ago, in the wet.
The wet, indeed, yes, that's right. Aidan Moffat there normally goes well in slippery conditions, but it's taken him a while to get through the traffic. He's running in 18th, but it will, at least, fingers crossed, bring the car home unscathed, which on occasions he's had dramas this year, including yesterday when he had a moment at the end of qualifying and did some frontal damage. Here, in the meantime, Cook, look at the way that he's got himself onto the back of Jordan. There's only a corner to go, but he's not done yet, and so Jordan, defending, has fallen back a little bit from Camish. Hard on the brakes, into the hairpin goes Ash Sutton. He's about to come through to score yet another victory. That will be a 5th race win of the season, and Ash Sutton is going to win at Knockhill, round 22 of the championship. Ash Sutton wins for the 5th time this season then, with Colin Turkington second across the line, Dan Camish third. Andrew Jordan 4th ahead of Josh Cook and Tom Ingram. 7th goes to Tom Oliphant ahead of Chris Smiley. Adam Morgan 9th, and 10th Rory Butcher.
We'll be right back with the next race after this. Welcome back to Scotland and a very wet Knockhill, where the touring cars are on the grid.
Visibility is limited, traction is limited, and round 23 of the British Touring Car Championship is about to get underway. The 5-second board is shown. The drivers now look towards the lights. Which of the rear-wheel drive cars is going to make the best start? We find out now as we go racing. Sutton is away nicely. Turkington slots in behind him. Josh Cook gets away also ahead of Ingram. And down towards Duffer's Dip for the first time. Sutton leads. Turkington second. Is Jordan up to third. Dan Camish fourth. Cook fifth. Ingram sixth. Oliphant seventh. And is anybody going to run out of road? Rory Butcher goes a little bit wide as they come down through Duffers for the first time. Glyn Geddy doing likewise. But up front, Ash Sutton converts pole into the race lead, and he's getting away already.
Yeah, Andy Jordan made a good start, got across the front of Camish, but Camish was further back on the grid, remember, than the pole position.
Spin, off goes Ollie Jackson. That's Senna Proctor, I think, that's gone with him. Ollie Jackson ended up in that tyre barrier in FP2 yesterday, but now he's there in the race. He'll struggle to get off the wet grass, I would have thought there, so we could end up with an early safety car. We will see as down towards the hairpin they come. Safety car is indeed deployed. Safety car on the opening lap of the race.
He's on the outside. Oh, as you can see clearly in the spray, what happened? Not. Just got tagged. You can see a mark on the back bumper there, got tagged. And once again, here we go.
He's on the outside of Moffat, runs wide, loses it.
Yeah, he did. He lost it himself.
Yeah.
Got a right rear wheel on the grass, and round he went. But bearing in mind how little he could see, that's an easy mistake to make.
Ash Sutton tries to get the pressures up, tries to get some heat into the tyres. Andrew Jordan still desperately hunting his first win of the season. He is there in third place. Dan Camish, fourth, leading the front-wheel drive attack in this 23rd round of the 30. In the 2018 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship, Sutton accelerates away down to the hairpin. We will go racing as soon as they cross the timing line and the green flags fly. You've still got that standing water at the bottom of the hill at the hairpin, where life is very wet indeed for everybody. And now they power their way up over the timing line. Ash Sutton leads. Colin Turkington goes after him, mindful that he can't give away points race by race by race. Ideally, he wants to be ahead of that Subaru. Down towards Duffer's Dip they go. Turkington goes through in second. Ingram gets up the inside of Josh Cook, has a look, but no way through there. Josh Cook is able to maintain the place, but Ingram's getting a bit more toey now, ever more determined to get past the Astra.
Yeah, he can see points slipping away, can't he, as his two championship rivals are in first and second place, so this is the time to get racy for England, definitely.
He's also shared a bit of weight, of course, compared to what he had when he came here, so the Toyota now with only 33 kilos on board, lighter, should make some progress. The trouble is, to overtake, you've got to go offline where it's even wetter. Jordan pulls out of the spray to have a look at what the inside line might be like down to the hairpin, but look at the way that Sutton is getting away here. Camish staying on the back, and Ingram tries to do to Cook what Cook did to him in the first race, but he can't do it, or can he? He gets up the inside coming out of the hairpin, and the Toyota now will have the inside line all the way up the hill and then in towards Duffer's Den. 27 laps we will run because of the safety car, and Ingram is still dead set level with the Astra. Down they come towards Duffer's. He's going to go through. Is he on the inside? Cook's going to have to give way eventually. Yes, Ingram goes through and goes up into 5th place.
That was a hard-fought place gain, wasn't it? Took him a long time to get that. Oh, and Carl Boardley's off. He's straight on into the tyres. I think, but Oliphant's off, but he's back on. He's got on. Don't know if they were related at all, but unrelated, I think. But yeah, just because a car is quick in the dry doesn't mean it's quick in the wet. It's a completely different setup on these cars for the wet. Softer dampers, different roll bars, every geometry setting is almost different. And of course, they don't have an awful lot of testing in the wet, so it's a lot of guesswork.
Adam Morgan there at the inside of Tom Chilton, who goes wide coming through the hairpin. Yellow flags in sector 3 because of Carl Boardley off the road, and you can see where Boardley's car is just at the top right there, and Matt Simpson is in strife down at the hairpin as well. It would not be a surprise to have another safety car out of all of this, would it, as the leaders go by with a big twitch by Camish. Now Ingram is going really nicely. He likes wet conditions, and so too does the car, so you can see now he's got past and pulled away from Cook. The Toyota working nicely in this race with less weight on board, and so now Ingram is on the back of Camish as he powers his way along the short straight up towards Clark's.
Yeah, most of the teams will have made revisions to that setup between the first race and the second, getting the most amount of feel during that first race, and relative, most importantly, to the cars they're racing against, gives them a better starting point for this race too, which is why we're seeing slightly different form.
Ingram has done the fastest lap. They come out of the hairpin. Camish on the back of Jordan, who's now protecting Turkington. Collins getting away up the road. This is Ingram's view. I use the word view advisedly. Somewhere in all of this spray there are more cars. There's a pit wall, I think, on the left, and there's a corner coming up.
Yeah, and in that gloom is Dan Camish running in 4th place.
Just the one wipe you notice on the Toyota, purely on the driver's side. And up front, as Turkington got a little bit wide, he has, and Jordan's got through into 2nd place. So Jordan, rather than protect, attacks, and he goes through. He's up into 2nd spot. Turkington now comes under pressure from Camish, and behind Camish there is Ingram. Behind Ingram there is Cook. So this battle pack, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th, all of which, of course, just like race 1, is enabling Sutton to pull away.
Yeah, and although West Surrey Racing run both the BMWs of Colin Turkington and Andy Jordan is racing for himself, for his own sponsors. Ingram down the inside of Camish. Gets the car start. Camish has gone straight on that water. He said he didn't like that bit, and Cook is going to go through as well.
Mike Bushell is in the pits, Carl Boardley in the background is in the gravel, Ash Sutton is in the lead, Andrew Jordan is 2nd, Colin Turkington is 3rd, and Tom Ingram is up to 4th. 5th now is Cook, 6th, down to 6th, Camish, bit of a gap back, 7th over the line was Chris Smiley, but Turkington now is coming under attack, isn't he, from Ingram as they head in towards the right-hander of Leslie's and then down towards McIntyre's. They come. There is Sutton, look, on his own up front, pulling clear. Jordan clambers up the curb, but Ingram is the man on the mission, and can Camish fight back?
That's where Jordan got through. Turkington ran on too fast into turn 1, got wide. That's why they were all concertinaed up. And it really looks like the changes made to Ingram's car have given it more performance in this second race relative to the others. I know he's lost some weight. This was... that is a championship battle. Points being given to Ingram as he passes Turkington and gets up to 3rd place.
Next target is Andrew Jordan. He's only 6/10 back as they come over the line. So Sutton is leading by 3 seconds. Were Ingram to get past the Team Pertec BMW, could he go after the race leader? 27 laps is the new distance because of the safety car. This is lap 12, and this is the battle for 2nd place. Jordan versus Ingram. Oliphant is off again, and this time it looks like it's for keeps. He's in the gravel bed. So is that going to be able to stand? No, it's not. Safety car is deployed once more. Sutton's advantage is about to disappear once again.
Well, for Stephen Jelly, it could be... Oh, that was a lock-up. That was Oliphant just all on his own into that very slippery hairpin.
Lights are out. We are going to go racing. The safety car lights have been extinguished. You can see Ash Sutton is getting ready for the restart. Colin Turkington is on his toes to try and have a go back at Tom Ingram. Are we going to have another casualty? Who will it be? Ingram goes deep into the hairpin. We will go racing once more here at Knockhill. Ash Sutton leads the way. Andrew Jordan is on his tail as the green flags fly. We are back and running. Fingers crossed we run to the end. Tom Ingram is third as they come over the timing line. Fourth is a ball of spray through which appears Colin Turkington ahead of Cook. And then it is Dan Cammish in sixth as they dive down through Duffer's Dip. There the race leader is Sutton doing his best to get away. He's got the visibility, but equally he's the first driver every lap to come across all the puddles to find out what the grip level is like. Up the curve at the chicane, there's Jordan, then Ingram in third place. Turkington is fourth. Possibly now just thinking, I need to finish, I need to get some points.
Yeah, definitely, but he's got a fired-up Josh Cook behind him, who's hoping for even more places, but we're coming up to the trickiest section, braking for the hairpin. If we all get through this lap, well, there's a chance we can continue the race.
Down they come. Look, Ingram is on the attack against Jordan. And look at Cook out the inside of Turkington. He's got two wheels up the curve. He skims the gravel. The door is open. Cammish will come through as well. Who does Cook block? Well, he has to go across on Cammish. Here is Ingram trying to get up the inside of Jordan. Think about how little the guys can see. Think about how little grip there is. And then savour the racing. Here comes Ingram up the inside. He's done it. He's gone second. He gets the car slowed down and he goes through. Great move into Duffer's Dip.
Wow, that was super, super brave. He committed in enough style to get the car right up the inside. Jordan had no choice but to give him the position.
So Ingram is up to second. Turkington now is down to sixth, look, because he's dropped behind Cammish and he might lose another spot to Adam Morgan here. One championship protagonist, Ingram, is going up. The leader, Turkington, is dropping down, and Sutton is still there in the lead. Morgan's Mercedes is coming good now, look, because he's right on the tail of Turkington as they drop down towards the hairpin. This is lap 20 of 27. They come into the braking zone. Sutton versus Ingram. We'll see what the gap is in a moment as they come over the timing line. But the way the Speedweek Toyota is going, could it catch the Team BMR Run Levorg over the line? Sutton to Ingram is 2.1 seconds. That's the margin now to monitor as they go by. There is Jordan in third place. It's Cook fourth.
This is the cutback and the overtake on, or attempted overtake on Andy Jordan. On board with Ingram, he's got the run, he's not actually alongside until they get to the braking area, and he is braking on the slipperiest part of the track, and he pulls it off perfectly. And I have to say, the decision by Toka to restart the race, oh, big accident.
Sam Smelt off the road, red flag. The red flag this time, red flag. Race stopped. And we will await.
That's turn one.
Yeah, we'll await news as to a restart. Let's see what happens to Sam in the gloom, in the spray. The Audi S3 just goes straight on and boom into the barriers. And it moves all the recticel, so the barrier is exposed. That's another reason, apart from the car being in an awkward place, that's another reason to stop it, because the barrier is now exposed. Red flag. And we've done 74%, not 75, which is a frustration, but the car's all being brought into the pit lane, so I would envisage we wouldn't get a restart, but we will await confirmation and indeed what that does to points. Checkered flag, race is over. It is a win for Ash Sutton. Round 23 here at Knockhill, red flagged, not restarted, and won by Ash Sutton. Tom Ingram taking second place ahead of Andrew Jordan in third. Josh Cook fourth ahead of Dan Cammish and Colin Turkington, all of which will make the championship situation fascinating, with seventh Adam Morgan and eighth Tom Chilton, ninth Rory Butcher, and into the top 10, Jack Goff.
We have one more race to go from Knockhill, so join us after the break. Welcome back to Scotland, where it's not raining quite so hard as it was.
Round 24 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship from Knockhill. The lights go red. Who will make the best start as we go racing now? Good getaway by Chilton. A good start by Cammish. Jordan has the road open up ahead of him, and he goes round the outside of Cammish on the way down towards Duffer's Dip. Chilton leads, Morgan second, Turkington third, it's Cammish for fourth. Jordan will go fifth. Do they all get safely through Duffer's Dip? So far, so good. And Chilton it is who leads the pack, heading now towards the chicane for the first time.
Chilton said he was good at starting, and he was true to his word. He got a great start there. No real advantage at all from Turkington. Andy Jordan got a great start, but Camish held him off at the first corner. Matt Simpson just getting into the back of one of the Power Max cars.
Looked like Senna Proctor, didn't it, that he was trying to find a way past. Now you can see that it is officially wet. There's lots of spray still hanging in the air as they come down to the hairpin. And Morgan looking very racy here to try and find a way past Chilton. It's Turkington third, Camish fourth, Jordan is fifth, sixth is Cook, seventh is Butcher, going very nicely. Eighth is Jack Goff. We'd almost forgotten about him today. Jack's had a pretty miserable time up here, as he also had at Rockingham, but he's back in the hunt now as they come over the line. Behind him is Rob Austin, and then it's Sam Tornoff in 10th place.
Off the line at the back. You'd expect the Subaru to get a better start. Of course it does. Look at that. It's past 3 cars before poor old Ingram's even got going.
And Chilton gapping the opposition. Is Turkington going to be able to dive up the inside here? No, he's not. Morgan covers the line down to the hairpin.
Yeah, they're all being very cautious, aren't they? Going to the inside all the way down there. Camish is in this as well. He's looking pretty good under these conditions.
And so also, look, is Rory Butcher. The MG dives up the inside, and Simpson's in the wall, so is Mike Bushell. There was one of the Subarus there.
That was Plato.
That was Plato. So he's got roughed up. But Rory Butcher is another man to watch here. Local knowledge and all that being put to good use. But we've had another sort out down at the hairpin. Now, Ingram is running 24th, Sutton is running 20th, and we have the safety car on track. Safety car is being deployed, and that is because of all the shenanigans down at the hairpin.
We'll try and see what happened at the back to cause all of this. Watch to your left. We keep watching, we keep watching. And into the zone. Oh, it was Matt Simpson that got turned around, wasn't it, by Jack Goff?
Brett Smith.
Brett Smith, was it? Okay.
Yeah. And Bushell gets involved, and then he tries to drive away, and presumably he doesn't have the lock and ends up in the gravel. We will go racing at the end of this lap. Tom Chilton now bunches up everybody behind him. He's controlling the restart. He will decide when he accelerates. Adam Morgan lines up to think about where he can make the move as Chilton goes now, accelerates down to the hairpin, tries to get the gap over Adam Morgan. It's Turkington third, it's Camish fourth, then it's Jordan, then it's Cook, and then Rory Butcher is in 7th as we go racing once more at Knockhill. We're up to 27 laps now because of the safety car period, and Chilton to Morgan as they break the beam is 0.425 of a second.
And another shout out for Rory Butcher. What a great job he's been doing this weekend in front of the home fans.
Turkington is under attack from Dan Camish. Look at Josh Cook. He's been pretty racy all day as well. He's on the tail of Andrew Jordan, almost in the back of the BMW there. And the venerable MG of Rory Butcher not giving up either. Sam Tornoff next in the queue, but he's dropped back a little bit, hasn't he? The pink Ford relative to the MG ahead. And there, Tornoff goes to the inside and trying to find a way past Cook, who defends and simultaneously attacks Jordan, but goes wide up over the curb. This could be Butcher's chance. Yes, it is. He powers past him, and Rory Butcher now breaks into the top 6.
Great job. Josh Cook was a bit wide at the chicane, and on the exit nearly left Butcher a chance and then carried too much speed in, but has he left the door open? Yes, he has. And Cook was the first one to go for that inside line, and it's paid off. But Butcher's been pushed out wide, and Tornoff's going to get through as well. But it looks like the inside line is the place to go. They all stayed off it because of the gravel, but the gravel's gone.
Down through Duffer's Dip, then go the race leaders. Fastest lap of the race, Ash Sutton. He's up into 19th place now. And there is Sam Tornoff, having got himself up past Rory Butcher. He's now having to really defend very strenuously indeed. Chilton getting away from Morgan. Turkington is still there in 3rd. Jordan is back onto the tail of Camish now. So 4th and 5th, there they are. Front-wheel drive Honda, rear-wheel drive BMW. The other person that's really pushing on still Josh Cook, absolute best in the first sector, and you can see behind them the Astra is almost there. But Ash Sutton then, the quickest lap of the race, he is up into 19th. Ingram is 23rd. They're still outside the points, don't forget though.
Yeah, and look at Cook round the outside, and behind that, Butcher's got back past Tornoff. He's bullied his way back past, and good job, Rory, fighting stuff. I called him a tiger before this meeting as a way of describing his racing, and he's proving that every bit of that today.
Camish, Jordan, Cook as one. There is Aidan Moffat, who normally goes well in greasy conditions, and he has just got himself up into 11th at the expense of Chris Smiley. There is Ash Sutton, who's up another place, 18th. Ingram's up to 22nd, and now Sutton has got to get past Ricky Collard, teammate to Colin Turkington, and Sutton goes wide and off the road, and up past him there goes James Cole.
Yeah, that was a mistake by Sutton. He came down the hill so fast, he thought he was going to hit the back of Collard's car and had to go left to avoid it. Camish is being passed by both Andy Jordan and Cook.
So Jordan on the inside, Cook tries to go with him. They're almost 3 wide, down to the hairpin. Camish breaks late, tries to go round the outside. He finds all the gravel, he drifts out wide. Jordan is through, Cook is through, and here comes Rory Butcher as well, up on the inside line. They come through side by side. Rory Butcher is on the inside line. Dan Camish on the outside for the next corner, going into Duffer's Dip. And so Jordan now 4th, Cook 5th, and Rory Butcher is into the top 6. He's been there before. Can he go higher and therefore get his best result of the season? So Matt Neal it is, still 14th ahead of Ash Sutton, and that's Moffat. All over the gravel ahead. Sutton tries to go to the inside. Matt Neal defends. Sutton to the outside line, and a muddy Moffat is still just ahead of the pair.
Yeah, Matt Neal knows just where to place the car, doesn't he? Because that down the hill swoop up the inside into Scotsman, he tried to put it off, but Matt just left some space on the inside, went round the outside, knowing he'd have the line.
Change for second. Turkington goes ahead of Morgan. So the championship leader gains another place, gains more points out of this. Colin Turkington is up into 2nd spot now. Morgan runs 3rd. Then it's Jordan, Cook and Butcher to round out the top 6. Now that he's up into 2nd, what can Turkington do about the race leading gap? Sutton's ahead of Matt Neal. So Ash Sutton now is up into 14th place, and Ingram is up into 21st.
Oh, yeah, good. I'd like to see where Sutton got past Neal, because that's 2 guys who really know how to do it, isn't it? But Turkington's pushing on. He's had to push on because he's had cars up close behind him, and you know what? I think he doesn't like the idea that he's only won 1 race so far this year, and I'm going to watch that gap closely between him and Chilton now to see what sort of relative pace they've got as the circuit continues to dry out a little bit.
2.7 seconds, the margin at the start of this lap. Morgan's the one under attack now, isn't he? The pace looks like it might just be ebbing away slightly because he's lost out to Turkington and he's having to defend from Jordan. Cook comes to have a go at the pair of them as well. Down towards Duffers, starting lap 17. Can Jordan dive up the inside? He can't. He's got Cook up behind him, and the gap straight away between the top 2 is down by fractions. It's down to 2.6, so Turkington is on a charge.
Yeah, as I said, they get to the point where potentially you lose a bit of grip out the front of the tyres on the front-wheel drive car, and that costs you traction out the hairpin. And the BMW does look after its tyres quite well, being rear-wheel drive.
Through Clark's goes Adam Morgan, 3rd, hanging on to a potential podium place, but this is going to be very tough indeed, with Jordan, Cook and Butcher looking quick and all sat behind him. Down to the hairpin, lap 17 of 27. The race elongated because of the safety car period. Butcher to the inside of Cook, gets up the inside, and the MG not quite able to power out ahead, but it was a good attempt. Through they come. Now behind, you've got 7th Tordoff, 8th Camish. Jack Goff is 9th. Smiley and Lloyd, the 2 teammates at BTC Nord in 10th and 11th. And in fact, Jack Goff has gone ahead of Camish. Now what's happened to Dan? Because he has dropped on this lap down to 11th place. Goff, Smiley and Lloyd all ahead of Camish. There he is.
Yeah, so something not working on that Honda. I wonder if that's a signal that the tyres are giving out on some cars without the right setup. Look, he's got no traction off the corner, and it looks he's going wide on the grass, and Rob Austin goes through. Yeah, definitely he's not got the pace. Now, the front, Turkington did take 3/10 of Chilton on that last lap, so Turkington is quicker.
And look who's behind Camish now. It is Ash Sutton, who's already up into 13th place. Down towards the hairpin. Sutton's going for the gap on the inside of Dan Camish. This should be a pass. Should be able to go through on the inside, given the way that he's been charging, and through he goes. So Ash Sutton gains another place out of all of this. He will now be 12th. And Andrew Jordan's got himself up past Adam Morgan as well. The leading gap is down to 1.9. And we're hearing that Tom Chilton is looking for the wetter part of the road now to keep the tyres cool, to preserve them to the end. And there's contact as Butcher and Cook come to blows. Cook into the gravel. Tordoff goes ahead of him. And the Astra back onto the circuit.
I did that once to Gabriele Tarquini, and he rolled his Alfa Romeo into a ball. So I think Josh Cook got away lightly from that, but that was a shame to see that battle end like that, because Butcher's been driving beautifully. Look, he gets a run down the hill, flicks it to the inside, is committed to the move, but he's not far enough alongside when Cook rightly takes his normal line.
Sutton now turning his way through the right-hander at McIntyre's. Through Butchers up towards the chicane now. So we're on lap 21 of 27, and Sutton is still pushing, and that is Senna Proctor, who has had drama, and Brett Smith likewise, and I think these two damaged cars may well be connected. Now this is Brett Smith into the back of Senna Proctor. Oh, I think Proctor was going for the pits and brakes and got hit from behind.
Yeah, he didn't use his indicator, did he?
This is Jack Goff versus Dan Lloyd down to the hairpin. They're squabbling, and look who's behind them. Look who's about to get past them. Ash Sutton arrives on the scene, and Dan Lloyd, who a moment ago was busy trying to attack, suddenly loses a place. Wow, straight past him goes Sutton. That puts him 9th from 30th on the grid.
It's like watching a go-kart racer come from the back when you watch Ash Sutton, and he does have a karting pedigree. He knows where to put the car. He just takes the opportunity whenever he can. It's great to watch.
And we'll use the line again. He's not done yet because we've got 2 laps to go. But in frustration, in contrast, Tom Ingram has put all the effort in, and he's only now 16th, not yet into the points. So it's a bad day, this, as far as his championship hopes are concerned. Sutton there, look, now on the tail of Jack Goff for 8th place. Hayden Moffat running behind his little group in 12th, going well as ever in the greasy conditions and picking his way up the order. But up front, Chilton is half a second ahead of Turkington. Sutton to the inside of Jack Goff. There, Morgan Tordoff all getting ahead of Butcher. Jack Goff just ahead of Ash Sutton. We know they can run side by side. Remember Snetterton? Well, this is only for 8th place, but Sutton's going to do it, look, because he's got himself on the inside line. He may not be ahead over the timing line, but he will be as they go into Duffer's Dip. Job done. Another place gained. He's 8th.
Wow, what a drive, what a drive.
So the last lap, and there, look, is Chilton leading. Now look who's ahead. Off the road, Ricky Collard after a pit stop. He's going to get back onto the circuit. The 2 leaders go through, and Tom Chilton is going to be our 14th different winner of the season, a record-breaking number in the BTCC.
Congratulations, Tom Chilton. Congratulations, Motorbase. A fantastic victory. Great to see. What a good drive by Chilton. Kept his cool, and, well, I think Paul O'Neill said when he gets a sniff of a win, that's when you see the best of Tom Chilton, and he's done it.
Tom Chilton wins round 24 of the British Touring Car Championship. Colin Turkington takes 2nd. Andrew Jordan 3rd ahead of Adam Morgan. And then Sam Tordoff with 6th. Josh Cook, Rory Butcher 7th. Ash Sutton 30th to 8th ahead of Jack Goff and Dan Lloyd. For the championship, Colin Turkington is 43 points ahead of Tom Ingram. Ash Sutton 3rd. Just 8 up on Andrew Jordan, who's crept back into the picture. Josh Cook 5th ahead of Tom Chilton. Adam Morgan is 7th from Jack Goff, Matt Neal, and Dan Camish back into the top 10.
Coming up after the break, we head over to the Principality of Monaco for the 11th running of the Monaco Historic Grand Prix.